Looking for 7.1 support and Wi-Fi on your next Blu-ray player? Mr. Heron's got a new Panasonic player that might be looking for a spot on your short list.
Yeah, let me introduce you to the Panasonic DMP-BD85P in the beautiful gloss black color.
The heavy gloss black color.
I'm telling you, what player isn't really? $250 online retail price or direct from the Samsung website. The main features of this player, it supports analog output. So if you have an older AVR that has analog inputs, but you still want full fidelity sound with all the latest lossless formats, 5.1 and 7.1 support are built right into the back of the player, so you can just hook up all those cables and go crazy. It also has, as do most Panasonic products, an SD card slot, so you can easily view your pictures and music on that as well. Nice. Now, this is not a 3D compatible version of a product. They have two other models that are steps up if you need 3D output. And it does include, in the box, I have to admit, a pretty nice feature, a USB ABGN Wi-Fi adapter, which is great. I looked up the price separately for just the adapter. They went about $80 to $100 for that online. Wow. So it's nice that it actually comes in the box for the $250 price tag. Online features. This supports VieraCast. That's Panasonic's word for their internet-enabled features that include Picasa, Netflix, Amazon, stuff you see up behind me on the screen. Amazon Video on Demand. But one thing missing that a lot of people are a little irked about, no music services yet. There is that box, Pandora? Though. There is a coming soon box in the corner that people are hoping Pandora is going to sneak in there soon.
Pandora had deals with everybody on the planet.
Apparently they're not. They're in discussions with
You
Panasonic.
Can play like MP3s off a home server or off your SD card though, right?
Off the SD card, yes.
Okay.
Network streaming support is not built into this player.
Oh, really?
So that's something else to keep in mind too.
So no streaming movies, no streaming audio?
No. From your home server, no. From the online services, yeah, you can.
Good to know.
We were talking about 24p output, I think a couple weeks ago. This supports 24p output with DVDs. So you can actually go in while the DVD is playing, go into its video setup menu and say, you know what, you're doing an up conversion to 1080p for, say, this particular TV.
Quit it.
But no, say you want that up conversion, but say you wanted to say the movie on a DVD disc was originally captured at 24 frames per second, so why not output it from the DVD player at 24 frames per second, which a lot of players don't do. I don't understand that. Panasonic does, but they continue to hide this feature in a menu that's very inaccessible, and it resets itself every time you eject the disc. So I'm putting that almost in the useless category, but it's there, and I do like it. Last week we were also talking about, last week's show we were talking about color quality and differences in different Blu-ray players when you talk about output quality. Excellent color decoding. I ran every benchmark I had through this player and they came up spotless. And in terms of picture controls, it was great because I felt the default settings weren't giving you the full picture, but it had presets like cinema and custom modes that allowed you to get full detail range out of all your movies and discs. Bottom line really is that I think for the $250 price tag, it's a great value for a Wi-Fi enabled Blu-ray disc player that also provides up to 7.1 analog output. Those two features alone could really cover a lot of bases for a lot of people.
And it does have an Ethernet jack too.
Always. And because of those two features and the Wi-Fi enabled, it'll automatically do your firmware updates for you. There's a feature in there. It's set by default to automatically check. Of course, I had to just go in there and manually hammer on it to see if there was an update. This one was already updated when I got it. But that kind of usability, I think, just goes further to making it easier for people to use a product like that.
Why do you think they don't support streaming video? I mean, don't most of the upper-end Sony and Samsung and LG Blu-ray players do that?
I don't know why they don't. I'd be curious to see if the new 3D players are offering that feature. I have to go and check on that. It wouldn't take a lot for them to add that feature in.
Right.
It's just a matter of getting the right code and getting it to the player and making sure it's not going to break anything else. So it's not like that. Ooh. Fancy. And I will say Netflix support, it was great. I tried a few shows last night up to HD quality, nice. Netflix HD quality. So that worked great. Picasa support, like I mentioned, in YouTube. And I don't use video on demand from Amazon much, but that's there too. So cool. Overall, that bottom line, again, it's really thumbs up, just strictly for including Wi-Fi at $250 and the analog output for the people who might not have the latest and greatest AV hardware, or they want to keep what they have but support analog audio output.
So the top customers for this is people who desperately want wireless on their Blu-ray player.
Included.
And people who already have a 7.1 amplifier but maybe don't have a receiver or a decoding for that.
Totally. And excellent overall picture quality in terms of color detail and picture detail. So if you're going to blow this picture up to 55-inch screens and beyond, I'd put it on my short list.
Dailymotion.